The Philippines, a country filled with vivid cultures, tropical sights, and most importantly, a people filled with national pride. Located in Southeast Asia in the Western Pacific, the Philippines received full independence in 1946 and today is a presidential, representative, and democratic sovereign state. It's on a steady path of economic expansion, growing at an average rate of above 4.5% over the past 5 years. Some say that the power behind the Philippines' drive for improvement is the dedication of its people. But this determination to grow, this national culture and identity, wasn't created overnight. To find the roots of today's Filipino pride, one has to travel back nearly 70 years to a time where such a pride was a privilege denied to the people. World War II. World War II was a global conflict between two great military alliances, the Allies and the Axis, and it began in 1939. By 1941, Nazi concentration camps were in full operation, including the infamous Auschwitz. Joseph Stalin had become the premier of the Soviet Union. And on December 7th, Japanese troops bombed Pearl Harbor. The U.S., which was present in the Philippines, officially declared war on Japan. In response, the Japanese invaded the capital city of Manila. Shortly after, General Douglas MacArthur fled into Australia, promising to return but leaving behind a country in shackles.
I shall return.
Control of the Philippine Islands was paramount to Japan's efforts to control the Southwest Pacific and protect its Southeast Asian flank. The over 7,000 islands were also a natural barrier between Japan and the rich resources of East and Southeast Asia. My grandmother, Emma David Palagonis, was 7 years old when the Japanese invaded her home in Dayet, an upper-class town about 200 miles away from Manila. She witnessed firsthand the effects of Japanese occupation. In fact, her house was located directly outside a former Filipino constabulary, which was used by Japanese soldiers as an army base. Immediately, the occupants began to conduct the lives of the locals in Dayet.
Every morning, at 4 o'clock, they knock at your door. And they ask everybody to get out. Children, grandmother, us to go out and go to the big field. And first of all, we sing the Japanese national anthem, and we bow, and they give us an exercise. We exercise for an hour.
In addition to daily exercises, soldiers established strict curfews and could demand your service at any time. My great-grandfather was a doctor and was often called upon to tend to injured Japanese soldiers. And at every sentry, usually located at street corners, everyone was expected to bow as a sign of respect.
They just hold you on their head and push you down all the way down to learn how to do it, including your hand going down all the way.
The Japanese also censored information about ally countries, especially the U.S.
They feel that the Americans are the evil people. Our books have a cover wherever there is a picture of an American, or the flag, or a story about America. You know, any word that mention America, you have to put a small tape on top of that so that you can see it.
No American music could be played, no reference to anything American was allowed, and even General Tadamichi, before the Battle of Iwo Jima, ordered that no man must die until he has killed at least 10 Americans. But this intense hate of the U.S. wasn't entirely bad for the Philippines.
When the American came, we speak English to each other. The Japanese doesn't like that. So they forced us to have a national language. And that's the only thing good that they did to the Philippines is to have its own national language, which is Tagalog.
As time progressed, the Japanese began to crack down on the growing Filipino resistance. Every night at 6 o'clock, Filipino rebels would be executed at the constabulary. They used firing squads, beheadings, and other methods so gruesome that my grandmother had difficulty talking about them. In the Philippines, the Japanese Imperial Army committed two of the most contemptible war crimes, the Bataan Death March and the Manila Massacre. My grandmother's uncle managed to survive the Death March, which transported Filipino and American prisoner of wars from the Battle of Bataan. He was one of the lucky few amongst a death toll of up to 10,000.
What the Japanese, they said, according to our uncle, is that if you fall down and you don't stand up, they bayonet you.
Later, in February of 1945, U.S. troops fought the Japanese to win back the capital city of Manila. An estimated 111,000 civilians were killed, either in the crossfire or by determined Japanese generals who felt obligated to kill as many enemies as possible. The dedication of the Japanese was unparalleled. A story circulated around Daet of a general who, after failing to capture a guerrilla army, performed the samurai ritual suicide called Tsubuku. Others gave up their lives in a suicide attack known as kamikaze.
They believe you should kill yourself because of a shame. It's a shame that you were not able to accomplish what you are supposed to accomplish.
But my grandmother wishes me to stress that not all Japanese soldiers were as malicious or harsh as history portrays them. Many risked their lives to secretly help Filipino families, and at times, in fact, the Filipino guerrillas were much more dangerous. The term guerrilla denotes the many rebel units composed of Filipino and American soldiers. Those who stood in their way were often executed as well.
Oh yeah, they are very passionate about that. Even they kill even Filipinos who they think that is collaborating with the Japanese.
They too were determined and fueled by a desire for independence and freedom. All knew that one man was the key to their liberation, General Douglas MacArthur.
General Douglas MacArthur.
On October 20th, 1944, MacArthur landed on the island of Leyte, declaring, "People of the Philippines, I have returned." And as requested, the country was granted independence from the U.S. on July 4th, 1946.
They have given us independence even if the entire country is at ruin. Manila was completely demolished, and that's how we started from rubbles.
Despite the effects of the war and the many years of struggle for political stability that followed in the Philippines, the people were happy to at last be free.
You are free. You are your own. You have your own nation. You can establish, and you are the one who is leading your own country.
The valor of the Philippines is celebrated every year on April 9th. Araw ng Kagitinang, the Day of Valor. From the genocide that was the Holocaust and the devastation of countries after destructive battles, to the development of the atomic bomb and the emergence of the Cold War, there are many ways in which World War II was a major turning point. But I feel that what happened in the Philippines during the War for the Pacific reflects a common trend that has consistently changed the course of history. It happened in America, in France, in Haiti, China, Russia, and even today in the Middle East, in countries such as Syria, Egypt, and Tunisia. The people will not tolerate oppression. The people will fight for a country they're proud of. It is as if all human beings have an innate desire for freedom. Dwight D. Eisenhower said that freedom has its life in the hearts, the actions, and the spirits of men. The actions of the Filipinos in the face of such hardships only merits this statement. The battle for a truly liberated Philippines is still being fought today. It has received a score of only 34 out of 100 on the 2012 Corruption Perception Index of Transparency International. It is slightly below the world average for 2013 according to the Index of Economic Freedom. But it's important to note that the country has shown a consistent improvement and will continue to grow and prosper. One thing, however, has remained over the many years, not just in the Philippines but in countries across the globe. National pride.